Baby found a golden retriever cemented in a wall. What he did next left everyone in tears. Baby discovered a golden retriever cemented inside a wall. What he did next left everyone in tears. What you're about to hear might completely change how you view children, forever. This is a story so unbelievable, and yet 100% true, it sent shockwaves through an entire nation. If you think you've heard it all, brace yourself for something that will challenge everything you thought you knew about the deep bond between humans and animals. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and tell us where you're watching from. It started on a quiet Tuesday. 5-year-old Leon Carter jolted upright in bed, clutching his dinosaur print blanket with both hands. The red digits on his nightstand clock blinked, 2:17 a.m. It was the only light in the room, casting an eerie glow over the dark space. He'd been woken by something. A sound so faint most adults would have brushed it off as the wind or their imagination. But Leon wasn't most people. His eyes, wide and searching, darted around the shadows of his bedroom in the old Victorian house his family had moved into just 3 weeks ago. Then he heard it again. A soft, desperate whimper, like something trying not to be heard, but needing to be found. It seemed to seep straight through the wall. "Hello?" Leon whispered, his voice barely audible. The whimper stopped, just for a second, before returning, now sounding even more frantic. Leon swung his legs over the bed, his small feet hitting the cold wooden floor with a soft tap. The sound wasn't just calling to him, it was pulling him, like an invisible thread leading him forward. He pressed his ear to the wall, his heart pounding in his chest. The whimpering grew clearer. It wasn't a person. That much he could tell. "It's a doggy," Leon whispered to himself, his breath throbbing lightly against the cool surface. "You're stuck, aren't you?" The sound responded, almost like it understood him. Leon ran his small hand along the wallpaper, feeling for cracks, holes, anything. Nothing. "I'll help you," he whispered to the wall. "I promise. You're not alone." Morning sunlight poured through the kitchen windows as Olivia Carter stirred her coffee. She threw a glance toward her husband, Daniel, as Leon sat quietly at the table, barely touching his cereal. They had noticed their son having vivid dreams lately, especially since moving into the house. But this felt different. "Tell you what," Daniel said, setting his mug down. "After breakfast, I'll come up and listen with you. Maybe it's just old pipes, or the neighbor's dog." Leon gave a reluctant nod but kept staring at the wall across the room, clearly somewhere else in his mind. True to his word, Daniel followed Liam up the stairs later that morning. "I'm going to help you," Leon whispered to the wall, "just hold on." As the days passed, Leon's obsession with the sound in the wall only deepened. His kindergarten teacher, Miss Jenkins, even called Olivia concerned. Leon spent the entire art period today drawing what looked like a golden retriever, trapped in a dark place, she said gently. There were walls, concrete, rebar. It was very detailed. Olivia paused. "He hasn't lost a pet or anything," she replied, now feeling a little uneasy herself. That night, Olivia sat on Leon's bed, ear pressed to the wall. They stayed like that for a while, just listening. The only sound was the ticking of Leon's dinosaur clock. Just as Olivia was about to pull away, she felt it. Not a sound, exactly, but a vibration. So subtle she almost missed it. "Did you feel that?" Leon asked, his voice hopeful. She pulled back, unsettled. I felt something. But Leon, it could be anything, pipes, the house settling. No, Liam interrupted, his eyes wide. It's her. She's running out of time. Daniel, who worked from home doing some kind of IT job, had heard rumors from neighbors about the previous tenant. Strange guy, Mrs. Whitaker from next door had said. Kept to himself. No one had seen him in weeks. Eventually, someone called for a welfare check. The police found the house completely empty. No signs of violence. Just abandoned. That's creepy, Olivia muttered when Daniel told her. Mrs. Whitaker leaned in conspiratorially. He had a dog, you know. A golden retriever puppy, just got her about a year before he vanished. Sweet thing. He called her Luna. She disappeared too. But Leon wasn't surprised. She didn't tell me, he said solemnly. I just know. It's Luna. Daniel felt a chill go up his spine. Luna? Leon nodded. That's her name. I draw pictures of her at school so she knows I didn't forget about her. That night, after Leon was fast asleep, Daniel tiptoed back into his son's room. He carried a stud finder and ran it slowly across the walls where Leon said he heard the whimpers. Nothing at first. But then, near the corner of the room, the device beeped. Steady. Unmoving. There was something behind the wall. The next morning, Daniel didn't go to work. Instead, he borrowed tools from the garage and peeled back a section of drywall. It started with a tiny hole. Then another. And then, the smell. Not decay, but dampness, mildew. He kept going, carefully, until the beam of his flashlight landed on something that made his stomach drop. Fern. Golden fern. Matted. Dirty. Liv, he called out, his voice shaking. Call it that. Now. But Leon had already pushed past him, slipping through the narrow gap. It's okay, Luna, he whispered. I'm here now. Wait, Leon. Olivia called out, panic rising in her throat. But the boy had already wriggled halfway into the cavity between the walls, his little hand reaching forward. Careful. Daniel barked, steadying him. Leon vanished for a second, his voice muffled. She's okay, but she's really scared. Daniel's flashlight caught the narrow chamber clearly now, a hidden space, boxed in with concrete on 3 sides and wood on the 4th. And in the middle of it, curled tightly into herself, was a golden retriever. She didn't bark. She didn't growl. She simply looked at them with wide, defeated eyes. She's been in there for a long time, Daniel murmured. How long do you think she's been trapped? Olivia whispered, as Dr. Martinez, the emergency vet, arrived minutes later. Daniel wiped sweat from his brow. We're not sure. At least a couple months. The last time the previous owner was seen was about 10 weeks ago. Dr. Martinez's brows furrowed. Months? That's nearly impossible. No dog could survive that long without food or water. There's a small vent, Olivia pointed toward the back of the chamber. And we think rainwater might have leaked in from somewhere. Enough to keep her from dehydrating completely. The vet stepped into action, her hands gloved and gentle. She knelt beside the dog and began a quick assessment. Severe dehydration. Malnutrition. Pressure sores. Muscle atrophy, but... She paused, placing her stethoscope on the dog's chest. Her heartbeat is weak but steady. Is she going to make it? Liam asked, peering up at her with big eyes. Dr. Martinez softened. I'm not going to lie, sweetheart. She's very sick. But we'll do everything we can. We'll give her fluids, medicine for pain and infection, the rest is up to her. Liam nodded solemnly. She'll fight. I know she will. The vet hesitated. You can see her, but only for a few minutes. She's hooked up to some machines, and she needs quiet. Liam followed her into the room like it was sacred ground. Olivia and Daniel trailed behind. The dog, Luna, lay still, and 4 already in her leg. Liam stepped close and sat down beside her, his tiny hand brushing her fur. She remembers me, he said softly. Media attention started bubbling almost instantly. But Dr. Martinez wasn't having it. Not unless you want to speak to them, she told Olivia gently. I can keep the press away. But they'll want to know how Leon knew. Daniel looked through the glass at his son, who sat calmly beside Luna, whispering things only she could hear. I'd like to know that too, he murmured. Should we go home, honey? Olivia asked, approaching Leon gently. His face fell. But what if she needs me? Dr. Martinez will take excellent care of her, Olivia assured him. And if anything changes, she'll call us. No matter what time it is. Promise? Leon asked, turning to the vet. I promise, she replied solemnly. The next morning, they returned as soon as the clinic opened. Dr. Martinez met them at the door, a tired smile on her face. She's holding on, she said. And she even lifted her head when I came in. That's a good sign. Leon's face lit up. Can I see her? The vet nodded. Just for a little while. And so began a new routine. Leon would go to school each morning, Olivia picking him up early so they could visit Luna. Daniel joined them after work. Each day, they sat beside him, talked to her, encouraged her. And day by day, Luna got stronger. The thaw fluids helped. She started accepting small bites of soft food. Her eyes, once dull and lifeless, grew brighter. She wagged her tail, just a little, when she saw Leon. It was more than recovery. It was trust, returning piece by piece. Then, one afternoon, Detective Wilson came by the clinic. I've got a few questions, he said. Nothing formal. I'm just curious. Leon sat on the bench beside Luna, his fingers tracing lazy circles on her palm. Leon, the detective said gently. I know this might sound strange, but did Luna ever tell you anything about her old owner? Olivia stiffened. Detective, he's 5. It's okay, Mom, Leon said without looking up. Luna doesn't like to talk about the bad man much. But she knows he's not coming back. The detective leaned in. How does she know that? Leon's gaze dropped to his hands. He told her he was sorry before he went away. Silence filled the room. No one knew quite what to say. Outside the clinic, the media frenzy was growing. People are calling him a dog whisperer, the receptionist Carlos said to Dr. Martinez one morning. Social media's exploding. Some think he's psychic. He's a child, the vet replied sharply. Not a circus act. But they all knew, this story wasn't just about a boy and a dog. It was about something deeper. Something unexplainable. I want to go home, Leon said one evening as Luna lay dozing beside him. But only if Luna can come too. Dr. Martinez gave a small smile. Soon. She's making amazing progress. But let's give her just a little more time, okay? Leon nodded. I understand. The next few days passed with steady improvement. Luna stood on her own, wobbly at first, but growing more stable each time. Her appetite increased, and she began reacting to more than just Leon's presence. A tail wag for Daniel. A lick to Olivia's hand. Hope was returning. Dr. Martinez started gentle physical therapy, and Liam insisted on helping. I want her to be strong again, he said seriously. The vet demonstrated basic stretches and movements, guiding Liam's small hands over Luna's legs and shoulders. She trusts you, the doctor noted, impressed. This will help more than any medicine. That night, Luna slept deeply. But something about it felt off. She's pretending, Liam said the next morning as they drove to the clinic. Pretending? Olivia asked, glancing at him in the rearview mirror. She's saving her energy. We have something to do. Daniel met them at the clinic entrance. What do you mean? But Liam only gave a mysterious smile. You'll see. By that evening, Luna seemed unusually alert, focused, restless. When Daniel mentioned it, Leon just nodded. She's ready. Late that night, Daniel stood in the hallway, phone pressed to his ear. She's acting differently, he told Detective Wilson. More aware. Like she's waiting for something. Wilson arrives within 20 minutes. Leon met him at the door, already dressed, Luna sitting obediently beside him. She wants to show us something, Leon said. The boy led the way to the tower, Olivia and Wilson exchanging concerned glances. She's leading us, Leon added. She knows where to go. Mrs. Whitaker had offered to drive. She didn't say much as she maneuvered her old station wagon through the outskirts of town, following Leon's directions. The buildings became more industrial. Darkened warehouses and empty lots stretched endlessly on either side of the road. Are you sure, sweetheart? She asked gently. Leon didn't answer. But Luna did, pressing her nose against the glass, tail stiff with focus. We're close, Leon finally whispered. She can smell it. The car came to a halt in front of a crumbling factory. Leon got out first. Then Luna. She didn't hesitate. What they found inside would haunt them for the rest of their lives. The main floor, once part of a fish processing plant, now held rows of rusty metal cages. Each one contained a dog, some large, others small. All were injured. Some barely moved. In the center of the room stood several stainless steel tables. But they weren't for healing. They were outfitted for experiments, restraints, and worse. A sickening realization hit Daniel like a wave. This was a dog-fighting operation, he muttered. Mrs. Whitaker made the 911 call. Within minutes, sirens lit up the night. Officers arrived, overwhelmed by the scope of what they were seeing. Animal control came next. Vans were brought in. Blankets. Water. Food. The entire space turned into a chaotic rescue effort. Olivia wrapped her arms around Leon, pulling him close. You were right, she whispered. You really were. Leon didn't respond. He knelt next to a small cage, where a trembling puppy whimpered in the corner. Luna padded forward, lay down beside the crate, and let out a low whine. She knows her, Leon said. This one's named Hope. Detective Wilson crouched beside Leon. I owe you an apology, young man, he said, his voice low. I should have listened sooner. Leon shrugged. Luna knew. But how did she know? Wilson asked, clearly baffled. She couldn't have known where this place was. Even we didn't. Leon stared into the distance, then looked up at him. She remembered the smell. And the sound. And the fear. From pictures? No, Liam replied. From memories. The detective said nothing more. News spread fast. Social media exploded with theories. The boy who talks to dogs. The golden retriever medium. Is he psychic or just gifted? Through it all, Liam remained unchanged. Still quiet. Still focused. Still thinking only of Luna, and now, Hope. 3 days after the raid, Liam stood beside Dr. Martinez during Luna's checkup. He had barely spoken that morning, his thoughts clearly elsewhere. How's Hope? He asked softly as the vet finished Luna's exam. Dr. Martinez sighed. She's very weak, Liam. But she's still fighting. Her fever's down a little, and she managed a few bites of food today. That's something. Liam nodded slowly. She wants to meet Sophie. Sophie? The vet blinked. The girl who used to sneak in and give the dogs water, Liam replied, matter of fact. Olivia, who had been sitting in the corner of the room, stood up abruptly. I'm sorry, what girl? Liam looked at her calmly. Hope told me. Dr. Martinez and Olivia exchanged looks, unsure how to respond. Later that day, Detective Chen joined the case. She met with Liam and asked gentle questions in a quiet room at the clinic. "Liam," she said softly, "have you ever been to that building before? Before the night of the raid?" He shook his head. "Never." "Did you know any of the dogs then?" "No. Luna showed them to me." Chen hesitated. "And the girl, Sophie, you're sure she was real?" "Yes," Liam said. "She didn't want to be then. Her dad made her." "Her dad?" Chen's pen stopped mid-word. "He was the boss," Liam continued. "The other men had to listen to him, or he'd hurt them too." As strange as it sounded, what Liam described aligned with things the police were beginning to uncover. A man named Victor Reyes had long been suspected of running an illegal animal ring, but until now, there had never been hard evidence. If Sophie was his daughter, and she had been inside that facility, it made her a key witness, and potentially a victim. "I've never seen her," Liam admitted. "But Hope remembers her." "And you're sure you never saw that place before?" "Only in the pictures Luna showed me." Dr. Winton, the clinic's child psychologist, quietly observed the interaction. After nearly an hour, she took Olivia aside. "Your son is extraordinary," she said, her tone open and thoughtful. "I can't say if this is telepathy, heightened empathy, or something else entirely, but Liam connects with animals in a way I've never seen before. He genuinely believes what he's saying, and it's matching facts we can't explain any other way." Olivia blinked, overwhelmed. "So you think he's communicating?" "In his own way," the doctor replied. "Whatever it is, it's real for him. And it might be saving lives." That evening, Hope showed signs of real progress. Her fever broke. She drank a full bowl of water. And for the first time since being rescued, she wagged her tail. Dr. Martinez called Olivia immediately. "She's not out of the woods," she cautioned, "but this is encouraging." The next day, Liam visited again. He brought a blanket from home and tucked it gently around Hope. "She says she wants to see Sophie," he murmured. "She says it will help her feel safe." Later that afternoon, Olivia made calls, through police channels and community networks, until finally, someone stepped forward. A woman. Mid-30s. Tired. Afraid. She had left Reyes a year ago, taken her daughter, and never looked back. Her name was Marisol. And Sophie was her child. They agreed to visit the clinic quietly, without media or attention. Sophie, maybe 10 years old, clutched her mother's hand tightly as they entered. She stopped short when she saw Luna lying calmly by Liam's feet. The dog looked up, then slowly padded over, tail wagging low and gentle. Sophie froze. Luna sniffed her hand, then licked it softly. "She remembers you," Liam said. "She says thank you for the water." Sophie's eyes welled up. "You can talk to dogs?" Liam shrugged. "Kind of. Mostly I feel what they feel. Sometimes they show me pictures." That moment, the quiet connection between girl, boy, and dog, was not captured on any camera. But everyone in the room felt its weight. Hope, hearing Sophie's voice, stirred in her crate. She stood, shaky but determined, and took a few small steps forward. Sophie knelt. "Hi," she whispered, reaching through the bars. Hope licked her fingers and gave a tiny wag. "She remembers you too," Liam said. "She says she missed you." In the weeks that followed, Luna's recovery continued to amaze everyone, Dr. Martinez, the police, even skeptical reporters. By the 6-month mark, she had regained her full weight and strength. Only a few faded scars remained, quiet reminders of what she'd survived. Hope's transformation was just as incredible. Once skeletal and terrified, she had grown into a playful, healthy puppy. And as promised, the authorities worked with Marisol and Sophie to adopt her, giving her a forever home filled with the love she had only glimpsed before. They saved each other, Dr. Martinez said one afternoon, watching Leon and Luna play in the clinic yard. The dog and the boy. In ways we're only just beginning to understand. Later that evening, as the sun dipped low, casting a golden light across the porch steps, Leon sat with Luna's head resting in his lap. Neither of them spoke. They didn't need to. Whatever conversation was happening, it wasn't one of words. The story of Leon and Luna spread far beyond their small town. News outlets ran headlines like, "The Boy Who Hears Dogs," and "Golden Bond, Child and Retriever Rescue Dozens." But while the world buzzed with curiosity, Leon remained remarkably unchanged. He still went to kindergarten. Still clutched his dinosaur blanket at night. Still whispered to Luna when no one else could hear. Daniel and Olivia tried to shield him from the frenzy. "No interviews," Daniel said firmly to one persistent reporter. "He's just a little boy." But not everyone agreed. "People are saying it's a miracle," Carlos, the clinic receptionist, told Dr. Martinez as they reviewed Luna's latest test results. Others speculated about supernatural gifts. Psychics. Animal whisperers. Even reincarnation theories popped up online. Dr. Martinez shook her head. "He's not a story. He's a child who saved a life. And not just Luna's." The raid had uncovered a large-scale illegal operation. Nearly 30 dogs had been rescued. Several men had been arrested. And Victor Reyes, Sophie's father, had been placed on a national watch list. All of it because a 5-year-old had listened to a sound in the wall. But for Leon, there was only one thing that mattered: Luna. The bond between them deepened with each passing week. He seemed to anticipate her needs before she expressed them. When her water bowl was empty, he was already refilling it. When she needed to change positions due to pressure sores, he adjusted her without being asked. When her meditation wore off, he would sit beside her, before she even whimpered. "It's like they're having conversations we can't hear," Olivia remarked one evening, watching her son stroke Luna's ears as she lay beside him on the rug. Daniel nodded. He knows her inside and out. Then one night, Leon woke with a start. He tiptoed down the hall, blanket trailing behind him. "Luna," he whispered, pushing open the door to the living room. There she was, on the floor near the fireplace, panting softly. She stood when she saw him, her tail wagging slowly. "I'm here," he said, walking over. She limped toward him, and as she reached his feet, she leaned into him with her full weight. And then, something shifted. Luna looked up at him, eyes steady. "It's time," Leon whispered. He didn't wake his parents. Didn't grab his shoes. He simply opened the door, and Luna walked outside. Daniel found them an hour later, sitting together on the back porch. "What's going on out here?" he asked, half asleep. Leon looked up. "She says there's another one." Daniel blinked. "Another what?" "A dog. A small one. Hurt. In a red building with big doors." Daniel knelt beside him. "Leon, you can't go out looking for dogs in the middle of the night." "I'm not," Leon replied. "She is." He pointed to Luna, who was staring into the darkness, completely still. Olivia insisted they wait until morning. But Leon grew restless. "She's scared," he whispered again and again. "She's all alone." Finally, Daniel relented. "If we go out now," he said carefully, "you have to stay in the town." "Agreed?" Leon nodded. "Luna will know the way." They drove through the edge of town, passing silent warehouses and shuttered businesses. Then Luna stood in the back seat, ears up. She began to whine. "She smells her," Leon said. They stopped in front of a rundown fire station, long since abandoned. The red doors were peeling. The windows were shattered. "Are you sure?" Daniel asked. Luna barked, "Just once." Inside, they found a single cage. A tiny brown puppy lay inside, curled into herself. The smell of rotten rust filled the room. Daniel kicked open the lock and pulled the cage out carefully. The puppy was breathing, but just barely. "Call Dr. Martinez," Leon said, not blinking. Now. The vet met them at the clinic minutes later, already prepped for emergency care. "I don't know how he keeps finding them," she said quietly, running diagnostics as Leon sat nearby. "I don't either," Daniel admitted. "But he's not guessing." She gave him a sharp look. He said, "Red doors. And you found her in a fire station." Daniel nodded slowly. "Whatever's going on," Dr. Martinez continued, "he's tuned into something we aren't." The puppy, who Leon named Whistle, survived. Barely. But within a week, she was sitting up. And within a month, barking, tail wagging, playing. Dr. Martinez couldn't explain it. Neither could anyone else. But Leon just smiled and said, "Luna hears things. I just help her listen." By the end of the year, Leon had helped rescue 5 more dogs. Each case followed the same pattern. Luna would sense them. Leon would translate. And somehow, they always found them, just in time. Animal control officers began asking for Leon's gut feeling before searches. Journalists requested interviews. One local news anchor offered him a weekly segment called Leon Listens. But he refused. "She doesn't want to be famous," he told his parents, pointing to Luna. "She just wants to help." The Tartar house had changed. It was no longer just a home. It was a sanctuary. A place where stories ended with wagging tails instead of silence. Where one dog's whisper had become a lifeline for dozens more. And it all began with a sound in the wall. And a boy who chose to listen. Spring arrived quietly that year. The last of the frost melted from the porch railing, and daffodils popped up along the fence line. Inside the Tartar home, things felt lighter. Luna had gained back her full strength. Her coat gleamed gold in the sunlight. Her stride was confident again, though she always stayed close to Leon's side. Hope, now living happily with Sophie and her mom Marisol, visited often. She and Luna would race through the backyard while Leon and Sophie talked quietly on the porch. Sometimes they didn't say anything at all, just watched their dogs play, like they understood each other in a way only they could. Olivia and Daniel often caught themselves marveling at how much had changed. A year ago, their son was a little boy who couldn't sleep through the night. Now he was something else entirely. Not older, exactly. Just deeper. More aware. Sometimes, he would stare out the window and say things like, "Someone is sad right now. A dog. She's under the floor. No one knows." And they'd find her, every time. The local police began unofficially coordinating with the Tartars. They didn't write anything down. Didn't call it official business. But when the city received a tip or a tea stalled, someone would stop by the Tartar house. Leon would sit with Luna. They'd be quiet for a while. Then he'd give them a color. A direction. Sometimes a name. "Look for a shed with green paint," he once told Detective Wilson. "She's inside. Tied up, but still alive." He was right. Despite the growing whispers, media outlets calling Leon the animal medium or golden retriever's child prophet, Olivia refused to let the outside world turn her son into a spectacle. "No cameras," she said. "No documentaries. Not until he's old enough to understand what it means." Dr. Martinez agreed. He's helping animals, not selling stories. So the Tartars kept their life simple. They installed extra fencing, made space for visiting rescues, and kept things quiet. But nothing to prepare them for what happened next. One night, Liam woke up crying. He hadn't cried like this in months. Olivia rushed to his room and found him on the floor, holding his head. "It's loud," he sobbed. "So many voices." "Voices," she whispered. He nodded. "Dogs. All of them. All calling. All scared." "When?" He paused. "I don't know. But Luna does." Within an hour, Daniel had packed the car. Olivia made a call to Detective Wilson, who, by now, didn't need convincing. "I'll meet you then," he said simply. "Just tell me where to go." Luna led them out of town. Past the highway. Into the hills where cell service faded and the woods grew thick. Eventually, she stopped in front of a rundown barn, half collapsed and swallowed by vines. "This is it," Liam said. They waited in silence for backup. Luna never sat down. She kept pacing the front of the barn, tail stiff, body trembling. When the police arrived, what they found inside left even the most hardened officers stunned. Underground, hidden beneath floorboards, was a system of tunnels, hand-dug and reinforced with sheet metal. Inside were over a dozen cages, each containing at least one animal, most of them dogs, some barely alive. All bedding, rotting food, chains. Whoever had built this, they knew how to stay hidden. But not from Luna. Not from Liam. They would have died and then, one officer said later. No one would have found them in time. The dogs were rushed to various clinics. Dr. Martinez worked through the night with her team. And Liam, though exhausted, refused to sleep until every animal had been cataloged, comforted, and treated. He sat with one in particular. An older mutt with cloudy eyes and shaking legs. "She says she was waiting," Liam whispered. "For who?" "For someone who wouldn't be afraid of her scars." In the days that followed, donations poured in. Rescue groups reached out. Veterinary associations offered grants. But the Tartars didn't ask for money. They asked for homes. Within weeks, every single dog had been adopted. Every single one, except the old mutt with the cloudy eyes. "She wants to stay," Liam told his parents. "Are you sure?" He smiled. "She says this house already feels like home." And so she stayed. They named her Fern. Luna didn't seem to mind. As summer rolled in, Liam began spending more time outside. Not just with the dogs, but listening. He'd sit under the maple tree for hours, eyes closed, one hand resting on Luna's back. "Do you hear anything?" Olivia asked once. "Sometimes," he replied. "But mostly, I just wait." "For what?" "For the ones who haven't found their voice yet." Not long after Fern joined their home, something shifted in Luna. She began to slow down, not from sickness, but something quieter. A tiredness. She still followed Liam everywhere, still listened for the whispers, but there were days she simply rested by the window, watching the light move across the floor. "She's not in pain," Dr. Martinez said after an exam. "She's just aging." Liam took the news quietly. He didn't cry. Instead, he lay beside her for hours that evening, one hand on her side. "She says she's not done yet," he told his parents. "But she's getting close." That fall, Liam started first grade. His teacher, Ms. Wellen, had been briefed by Olivia ahead of time. "Don't ask about the news stories," she was told. "Just treat him like every other kid." And for a while, that worked. He played with the other children, colored his papers, brought Luna-shaped erasers to class. But then one day, during show and tell, a girl brought in a photo of her missing dog. "My mom says she ran away," the girl explained sadly. "But I don't think she wanted to leave." Leon stared at the picture in silence. Then he stood. "She didn't run away," he said. The room went quiet. "She was taken," Leon continued, his voice very soft. "She's in a truck. With 4 other dogs. Some were cold." Ms. Willer tried to interrupt, gently. "Leon, let's." "She's still alive," he added, then looked directly at the girl. "She misses you." 2 days later, police in a neighboring county pulled over a stolen transport van. Inside were 5 dogs. One of them, a terrier mix named Daisy, belonged to the little girl. Leon didn't say anything when he heard the news. He just smiled. And that night, Luna slept beside his bed again for the first time in weeks. "Do you think it'll ever stop?" Olivia asked her husband. They were lying in bed, listening to the quiet thump of Leon's feet running down the hallway, again, because Luna had gotten up and you never let her go alone. Daniel sighed. "I hope it doesn't. But I also hope he gets to rest someday." "Do you think it's a gift? Or a burden?" "I think it's both." By winter, Leon had helped find over 60 animals. Some were sick. Some were injured. Some had been forgotten entirely. And still, more came. Sometimes they arrived on their own. People left them near the beach with handwritten notes. "I heard he could help. She won't eat. Maybe he can understand why." And Leon tried, every time. He sat. He listened. Sometimes he heard nothing. And that hurt more than hearing too much. But he never turned anyone away. One stormy night, a woman arrived with a limping Labrador wrapped in a blanket. "He hasn't moved in 2 days," she sobbed. "The vet said he's shutting down." Leon took the dog's paw gently. Then leaned down and whispered in his ear. After a moment, the dog blinked. Then licked Leon's hand. "He's tired," Leon said. "But he's not done." The Labrador lived. 3 months later, he was chasing tennis balls like nothing had ever happened. Word of mouth spread faster than the reporters ever could. People didn't come for stories anymore. They came for hope. And somehow, Liam and Luna always found just enough to give. But Liam was changing too. He still smiled. Still laughed. Still built Lego spaceships in the kitchen. But there was something quieter in his eyes now. He had seen too much. He carried it like Luna did, in silence. Then came the night everything changed. Luna didn't come to Leon's room. She didn't get up at all. He found her curled beneath the couch, her breathing slow but steady. "Mom," he called. "She's ready." Olivia knelt beside her, eyes wet. "Liam, are you sure?" "She told me goodbye already. She wants to sleep." Daniel crouched beside them. Liam wrapped his arms around her gently. "You can rest now, girl. I'll take it from here." Luna closed her eyes. And this time, she didn't open them again. The next morning, the sun rose softly. No fanfare. No bird song. Just pale light breaking across the Carter family's backyard. Liam was already outside, sitting cross-legged beneath the maple tree. Thurn sat nearby, unusually still. Even she seemed to understand that something sacred had ended. Daniel and Olivia stood on the porch, holding mugs they didn't drink from. No one spoke. There were no sobs, no cries, just the heavy silence of loss too big for words. Luna was gone. But not, somehow, completely. Later that day, neighbors began arriving. Some brought flowers. Others brought photographs of their pets, animals Liam and Luna had helped save. One man placed a faded collar at the base of the tree. "I don't know how," he said gruffly, "but that dog saved my son's life." A woman knelt beside Liam and gently hugged him. My dog can walk again, she whispered. Because you listened. By evening, a small memorial had formed under the tree. Candles. Collars. Notes. Dog toys. And at the center, a framed photo of Liam and Luna, taken the week she came home from the clinic. Dr. Martinez came last. She didn't speak right away. Just placed a single yellow rose on the ground and sat beside Liam. She was the best dog I ever knew, she finally said. Liam didn't look up. I know, he whispered. She still is. Dr. Martinez studied him for a long moment. Do you still hear him? He nodded once. In the quiet. In the days that followed, things changed. Not immediately. Liam still went to school. Still played. Still whispered to Thun at night. But the constant urgency faded. There were no more midnight drives, no more panicked dreams. It was like Luna had taken something with her when she left, the burden, the weight, the noise. And what remained was peace. For the first time in nearly 2 years, Liam slept through the night. The calls still came. Emails. Handwritten letters. People asking if he could help their dog, their cat, their horse. Some even asked about people. But Olivia answered them all the same way. He's just a little boy. They never mentioned Luna's gift publicly again. Not in interviews. Not in articles. Not even in passing. What happened during those years became something the Carter family kept close. A quiet miracle between them. Months passed. Then a year. Hope, the rescued puppy, grew into a strong, playful companion for Sophie. Fern, once weak and trembling, began to follow Liam around like a shadow. And Liam? He grew too. But not just in inches. His understanding deepened. His eyes, once wide with fear or awe, were now steady with something older. Not jaded. Just sure. One spring afternoon, as the wind danced through the trees, Liam sat beneath the old maple. A new dog had arrived, an anxious shepherd mix named Nova who refused to eat. She's scared, he explained quietly, resting a hand on her paw. But not of me. She's scared that if she lets go, no one will tame. Fern nudged his side gently, as if to say, but we can. Liam smiled. I know. And she will too. Nova ate that evening. Not a lot, but enough. Sometimes, Olivia still wondered what made her son the way he was. She kept a drawer full of old newspaper clippings and letters. She rewatched the first video ever posted about Liam and Luna's story, now long removed from public view. And each time, she cried. Not because it was sad, but because it was real. And rare. And hers. He's going to do incredible things, Daniel said one night, watching their son through the window. Olivia nodded. He already has. One evening, Liam stood on the back porch, staring up at the stars. Fern sat beside him, tail flicking slowly. What are you thinking about? Daniel asked, stepping outside. Luna, Liam replied without hesitation. She visits sometimes. Not like before. Just little things. Like what? Liam's eyes didn't leave the sky. Like the way the wind moves when something's right. Or how Fern stands up just before I do. He paused. Sometimes I think she's helping someone else now. Another kid. Somewhere far away. Daniel placed a hand on his son's shoulder. Then they're lucky. The trees were full, the air smelled of warm grass, and Liam had just turned 7. He celebrated with cupcakes and balloons, but more than anything, he asked for time, just him, Fern, and the trails that ran behind their house. He's not a proud kid, Daniel told Olivia, watching him disappear into the woods. No, she agreed. He never really was. Out then, surrounded by birdsong and sun, Liam crouched beside a stream. Thun drank beside him, her reflection rippling in the water. "She's proud of you," he whispered. Thun didn't look up. But Liam knew she heard. Back at home, things were quieter. The calls had slowed. The visits grew rare. Even the letters became fewer. It wasn't that people stopped caring, it was just that life moved on. And so had Liam. But every once in a while, something would stir again. Like the afternoon Liam wandered into the barrage, stopped, and tilted his head. "What is it?" Daniel asked. "There's a bird," he said. "A small one. Wing. Under the shelves." Daniel crouched beside him and, sure enough, found the creature tucked into a dusty corner. Liam scooped it up, wrapped it in a dish towel, and smiled. "I've still got a little bit of it left," he said quietly. Dr. Martinez hadn't seen the Carters in months. When Liam appeared at the clinic with the tiny bird, she blinked in surprise. "Well," she said, "I wasn't sure if I ever would again." Liam shrugged. "I didn't stop. It just got quieter." Thurn sat politely near the doorway, tail wagging. Dr. Martinez took the bird gently, already examining the wing. "It's fractured," she said. "But mendable." She looked back at the boy. "You know, you don't have to carry it all." "I know," he said. "But some things are mine." As they left, she stepped outside and called after him. "Liam?" He turned. "She'd be proud." He smiled. "She already told me." And just like that, they disappeared into the golden evening. In the Carter home, a new photograph was added to the shelf. Luna, eyes bright, head resting on Liam's lap. Thurn stood beside them, ears perked. And in Liam's hand, a sketchbook, half filled. He still drew sometimes. Not the haunting, desperate images from years ago, but pictures of dogs flying. Dogs with wings. Dogs made of stars. Dream dogs, he called them. When asked why, he said simply, "Because that's where some of them live now." One night, Olivia came to tuck him in and found him staring at the ceiling. "Can't sleep?" "I was listening." "To Thurn?" He shook his head. "To everything." She sat beside him. "And what did everything say?" Liam turned toward her. "That it's okay now." She smoothed his hand. "Is it?" He nodded. "It's quiet. And I think Luna is resting, too." Olivia smiled, tears forming. Then Liam added, just before closing his eyes, "But I'll still be here. Just in case someone else whispers." And somewhere, far beyond the trees and the sky and even the stars, something stirred. Maybe it was Luna. Maybe it was someone like her. A soft nudge in the dark. A whimper that needed hearing. And maybe, just maybe, a child somewhere else sat up in bed. Listening. Waiting. Ready to answer. Years passed. Quietly, gracefully. Liam grew. He outgrew his dinosaur blanket, his tiny boots, even the tree in the backyard that once towered over him. But he never outgrew Fan, who aged alongside him, or the stories he carried. The world kept moving. New pets were born. Old ones passed. Families changed. Towns shifted. But in a corner of the world, the Carter house remained a quiet sanctuary. Not for miracles, but for understanding. On Liam's 10th birthday, he receives only one gift that mattered. A new journal. On the first page, he wrote in big letters. Whispers. Then he paused. He didn't need to write what they meant. He knew. The rest of the journal remained empty for a while. But one autumn evening, He filled an entire page without lifting his pen. There's a dog named Junie, trapped under a porch. Her leg is broken. She's hungry but hopeful. She misses her burrow. She's ready to come home. An hour later, the phone rang. A rescue group had found Junie, exactly as described. Dr. Martinez retired that winter. Before she left, she stopped by to say goodbye. Liam was taller now. His voice deepened. But his eyes, those remained unchanged. I always wondered, she said, watching him pet Fern's graying muzzle, if you'd keep it. He didn't ask what it was. He just nodded. Sometimes, he said, I still hear them. Not like before. But they're there. Does it hurt? No, he said. It just makes me feel open. She smiled. Then you're still listening. He nodded again. I always will. One night, long after the lights had gone out, Olivia found him sitting on the back steps, sketchbook in hand. He was drawing Luna. Again. But this time, she was made entirely of constellations. What's that one called? Olivia asked, pointing. He tapped the star-shaped dog tail. That's her happiness. And this? Her bravery. And that? He grinned. That's me. She laughed softly, then kissed the top of his head. Liam looked up at the night sky. You think she's out there? Olivia didn't answer right away. Then, I think she's everywhere you ever loved her. He turned, eyes bright in the starlight. Then she's still here. Always. On the anniversary of Luna's rescue, a small ceremony was held under the maple tree. Neighbors gathered. Old friends returned. Even Sophie Tang, now a teenager, with Hope trotting beside her. A plaque had been placed in the grass. To Luna, who listened. And to Liam, who heard. There were no speeches. No cameras. Just silence. And then, Liam stood. His voice soft, but steady. She found me first, he said. Not the other way around. She taught me how to hear what no one else would listen to. And I will always listen. Because someone has to. Afterward, he sat beneath the tree. People drifted away. The sun dipped low. Fern rested beside him. He opened his journal, flipped past the pages of dreams and rescues, and began to write. She says there's a small dog in a metal box. They keep calling her that. But her name is Melody. And she's still singing. Liam smiled. Closed the journal. And listened.